So hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Cheesable. I'll be sharing my own rankings of the 5 costed Dune Imperium cards. This list will be highly useful to new players who have yet to use all these cards. If you have played enough games, you'll develop your own sort of ranking. So I hope this list is helpful. This list was generated with the aid of Bafco, a fellow TTS club member. So once again, you can refer to this table as a rough gauge, and let's get on with the tier list. So for the 5 cost cards, there are 15 unique cards, with Power Play having 3 copies and Ancient Engineer having 2 copies. This forms around 20% of the deck. So let's start with the S tier. So with the S tier, Liet Kinds is insane. The on reveal allows you to buy multiple Spice Muscles a turn. So this is one example of getting to 18 Persuasion. It is really insane. When you buy this card, you get a Faction Bump, which is equal to half a point, and the card has Ferment Access. But if you remove both the Emperor Bump and the access it has, it will still be S tier. This card is worth instant revealing for. Moving on to the D tier. So in the D tier we have Carryall. Carryall is rated highly by some players, but I feel it can be quite a trap. So the yellow spice spaces are very timing related. But when you draw this card, you're almost forced to play it, and the card kind of dictates the timing for you. As such, you aren't able to optimally plan your spice trips. So you end up going to very suboptimal spaces. As such, this is a bad card. So another trap that players might fall into is buying Exit Engineer. So this card is a dead card in hand for most of the game, but once you have 2 tech cards, right, this becomes an S tier card. So buy this card later in the game when you have 2 tech cards already. Don't buy this card early. So moving on to C tier. C tier actually looks, for the Satellite Band, actually looks like a decent card, but it has a terrible on reveal as retreating troops doesn't matter, and 1 Persuasion is weak. I think where this card falters is that it does not contribute to either winning combats or buying Spice Flows. Very often when you have this card, it feels like you have a 1 Persuasion card in hand. I'm not happy or sad to buy it off the Imperium row. So next on the list is Chani. Would you pay 5 Persuasion for a water? If yes, buy this card. Moving on to Duncan Loyal Blade. Duncan Loyal Blade is a silver bullet at the end of the game. At the end of the game, it can be very, very useful. It has amazing on reveal effect of allowing you to put all your troops into combat. But early on in the game, it's not amazing. For most of the game, when I draw this card, I was like, okay, Ferment Access, let's go Ferment. Moving on to the B tier, we have Embedded Agent. Embedded Agent already reveals for 1 intrigue, but its true power is when you have another Bene Gesserit card. When you have another Bene Gesserit card, this card moves into S tier, but without it, it sits on a low B tier. So Power Play comes next. So Power Play is something that you never hate to have. You aren't the most excited about it, but do you know who hates having it? Your opponent will hate when you have it. The moment you have this card, all other players will have to start watching their own alliances. This card becomes better later in the game. Overall, mid B tier card. Next on the list is Boundless Ambition. Would you play another Diplomacy in your deck? Most of the time the answer is yes. And for some leaders, that is all this card is, another Diplomacy. But if your leader has a strong Signet Ring ability like Baron, Leto, or Handro, this card is crazy strong. Sometimes it's worth buying this card to deny it to those leaders. It's a potential S tier card to some of leaders. Next on the list is Sardaukar Legion. I must say that I like this card a lot more than Bafco. It's a lot better on leaders like Leto and Ilban, leaders which I enjoy. But for most leaders, it enables you to go to Wealth early on and get Friendship and 4 troops, and late in the game it acts as a 6 sword swing, which is impactful. It falters in the aspect of Persuasion, but overall I think this card is very impactful to the game. Solid B tier card. As you can see, there are a bunch of disagreements now, and another card which we disagree upon is appropriate. This card can be good, but very often it just becomes a 2-position card in hand. However, to me, right, this card has won me multiple games and got me multiple points. It requires some experience, as you have to kind of play differently once you get this card. You almost have to play like a Yuna player. What that means is you have to prioritize Solari very, very highly. Okay, so once you get this card, you get rush the friendship with the Emperor and then grab any Solari you can. This card breaks the general economy of the game. I think the early shipping icon also is almost like a full action early on. I absolutely love this card. So moving on to the A tier, we have Stilgar. Stilgar is a card you are always happy to have in your deck. The 2-position is good and the 3 swords are impactful. It has access when you have no better actions, a solid card all around, A tier. So Esma Turret. This card has an unload ability to get you 2 Spice and 2 Solari. So unload means that whenever you discard or trash the card, you get the on-reveal effect. So these resources are rare in the game, but what is even more rare is the ability to get a bump in the spacing guild. So this allows you to get your friendship early at a very reasonable cost of 1 Spice. A tier. So Paita is a solid card. This card reveals for 3. That might not seem like much, but 1 extra persuasion, it means that you might not need to get a high council. It is a great card. A tier. Finally, Tufa. Tufa has insane flexibility, and that flexibility grants it this spot in A tier. It's a good card, always happy to have. So I hope you enjoyed this tier list. I'll post a picture for easy reference. If you have any questions, do drop it in the comments and I'll get to them. If you like this video, do like, comment and subscribe. It'll help decide what content I do in the future. See you around!